Good morning. Good morning. Hi, I need that energy. So my name is Andrew and welcome to 1 Million Cups Dallas. For those of you whose first time this event is, here's what we do. We've got 2 pitches today. Each pitcher gets 6 minutes to tell you what they're all about, and then you guys get 15-minute Q&A to ask them questions, give them feedback, and things like that. Couple of announcements. First off, that 1 Million Cups is sponsored and created by the Kaufman Foundation, which is based out of Kansas City. There are over 100 chapters of 1 Million Cups across the country. This is perpetually, habitually, always a top 10 chapter right here in terms of the number of people that come to this event. So the Kaufman Foundation is really all about getting startups going. They're all about galvanizing startups to get you guys out there by making connections with the people in this crowd, making connections with people here at the deck. The deck is the Dallas Entrepreneurial Center. We're here by the good graces of the deck. Okay, if you haven't had a chance to take a look around the deck, we're going to introduce you to some of the staff members here who can give you a tour. Okay, so 2 presenters today. We've got Ben, and we also have Vera. Vera is with she's going to say it much better than I can. Italisan. Sorry. All right, can you guys stand up and give Vera a round of applause, please?
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I'm Vera Tucci. I'm one of the founders of Italisan, that, as we define it, is the online lifestyle department store. Before we jump into it and explain to you what that means for us, I want to start with asking you one question. That is, have you ever wondered where the products that you buy are made? Who made them? Who designed them? Who assembled them? What is the story behind a product? What is that make that product unique? You know, the manufacturer, the people behind it, the creative process, the research for materials. What is that makes the things that you buy amazing, outstanding, one of a kind? What's the difference in between buying something that has a value and buying something that is mass-produced somewhere, we don't know where, we don't know by what kind of people? These were the questions that we asked ourselves when we started thinking about this company. We wanted to create a safe place, an ethical marketplace for Italian artisans to show their products and their creations, and for the American market to enjoy the purchase of an item that is one of a kind, is unique, is made by someone that loves the company, the people, the material, the process, everything like a family member or something. So we decided that we wanted to create a connection in between Italian real artisans and the American market. And this is where we started from, the artisans. We found a group of artisans that are compliant to what we call the ethical standards. We decided that we wanted to work just with the artisans that put a lot of values in their work and that are able to create items that have a specific standard in terms of quality, ethics, and authenticity. So we went, for example, to this lady. She's named Roberta. She's part of the fashion industry. She is a third-party supplier for the biggest brand that you can think of. The one that starts with the G, the one that starts with a C. She's part of that. She knows them, she works for them. But her company is so small, and she invested everything in creating the good environment for their people that she didn't have the chance to market her own line. the thing that she makes, the thing that she creates. So she is the perfect example of what you can find on Italisan. That is a place where you can find the perfect example of something that is created with hands, with love, with attention, and with an ethical approach to shopping. These are our values as much as they're the artisan's values. Ethics, that it means that nothing is exploiting someone else. Nothing is created forcing someone working in a bad environment, underpaid, crazy hours, just like the fast fashion world is made of right now. So it's completely the opposite of where the global industry is going. Second, the quality. The items that we want to bring to the market are items that can survive the test of time for their style, but most of all for the quality of the materials and for the attention that the artisan put in the assembling process. Third, authenticity. Why? Because we have an issue right now in Italy, but I think that can be understood by everybody across the globe. When someone makes something amazing, a lot of people want to duplicate it. They want to emulate it. But often this emulation takes place in a whole different country. Everything is simply emulated in terms of style, but not in terms of quality, not in terms of standards. So we want our customers to be sure that everything that we have on our website is completely 100% thought, created, and assembled in Italy by real artisans. So Italisan for us is a premier destination, is a place where you can be sure that you can purchase items that really value your hard-working money and that can really make the difference in whatever you bring to your table, to your closet, to your life. Italisan is defined by a blog that is part of the website, from where we share the story of the artisans and what makes the Italian way something that can inspire or something that can enrich the purchase process. Thank you.
Thank you, Vera. So 15 minutes Q&A. This is not only your opportunity to ask questions, but also it's a great opportunity to give feedback. So does anybody have a question?
Good day. I'm Josh. Thanks for coming in and brave enough to jump up there and share your mission with us.
Thanks, Josh.
In this site that you build, in this community that you're building, is there exclusivity from the products that these people are making? So if I wanted to buy something from this artisan, is this the only place I can get that product from?
It is. It is. The things that we show on Italisan, you cannot find them anywhere else. We have an exclusivity deal that it's twofold. With some artisans, we have a deal for a specific line of products because maybe they had already some market opportunity here. So we decided to split it and say, okay, so we are going to take care of that so you don't have to waste something that is already going on. And with other artisans, the smaller one, we have a complete exclusive deal that is for everything that they do, B2C, B2B, whatever. So the main line, the main rule is that what we sell, nobody else is selling.
That's a huge value point.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your question.
Where are you currently at? Do you have product already made? Do you have a storefront website? Hi, over here.
Sorry, I couldn't see you.
Yeah, it's kind of an anonymous question.
Can you repeat it?
Yeah, so do you have product already made? Do you have a storefront?
We have 12 contracts with the artisans. We have an up and running website. We are...
Can people buy product today?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We are live since September 14th, the day we launched officially the company. and we already had everything in place. That day, it was already ready. We had office space, warehouse, we have a physical presence in the US for our company because everything is managed from here. The only thing that is Italian in our website is the founders and the products. So everything else is based in the US, and from here we manage shipment, customs, logistics, everything, marketing, web development, web management, everything is based here, and it's already up and running.
Okay, in the back here.
Hi, I enjoyed your presentation. Great job.
Thank you.
A few things I like about it are the exclusivity component to it, that it's one of a kind. And I was curious as to what market segment are you approaching? Is this going to be a luxury, high-end products typically, or is all across the board?
It depends on the kind of products. We have three major segments that we are approaching right now. We have the luxury, high-end, fashion lovers, as well as we have the household, hostess, lover of Italian cuisine and design and style. So we are trying to create an offering that is that has a variety in terms of prices and products, but the three segments that we are approaching right now, they have a common ground that is people that are looking for something that they cannot find anywhere else. So we are looking for someone that has an attention for the things that they're looking for. And we have three different kind of demographics. So we have 25 to 35, 35 and above, and then we have from 50 and above. Because those are in our intentions, those are the people that they put more thought in the things that they look for. So from different perspectives, but they all have, they're looking for something specific. So we are here to give them what they're looking for.
Another question in the back.
So do you have a feel in terms of the customers that are looking for those types of products? Do you have a feel on what the overall market size is? And how are you, do you have a strategy in terms of breaking it down to attack that market size?
We have a strategy that right now, what we started with studying other brands that they started not being famous as we did. So we are not comparing ourselves to the big names because we don't have that kind of strength behind us. So we studied the market for other companies that, like us, wanted to bring something new to the U.S. market. So we approached the marketing strategy in terms of discovery and testing, because these products are new, they've never been here. So we try to study what is the reaction to the market. So right now we are still studying that, because every time that we put something new on the website, we have a different reactions. And from there we can measure if there's a market for that kind of item. So it's a working process. And in terms of strategy, we started off, of course, with social media and advertising, whatever could help us to spread the word out there. Right now, we want to focus more on a specific PR campaign that can target in a more effective way the people that we engaged so far. So we had different reactions from different demographics, and we started off more locally than we anticipated. We want to start off since the beginning all across the country, but we noticed that when you start with a real life approach, you have a more positive feedback. So right now we pivot the strategy and we are trying to bring Italisan in a more physical context and not just confine ourselves into social media, because people need to see these products. So it's a working process. We have a strategy, but we are trying to test different kind of things.
Here.
Yes.
It's Michael. I really love what you're doing. As a lover of everything Italian,
Oh, thank
keep
you.
going. This is
Thank you.
wonderful. My curiosity, you mentioned the proliferation of knockoffs. what's your strategy for dealing with replicant retail sites that could be popping up to battle you and selling inauthentic goods?
That's an amazing question. Thank you. We created with the artisans a guideline. We created a statement for what is that makes the difference in between an authentic product and a knockoff. So with them, we worked on creating some sort of ethical approach definition and a guarantee for our customers. So our customers, they can be sure that what they find on Italisan is real and is authentic, and we want to warn them about what's out there. Let's make an example. Florence, there's a great leather market, and as a tourist, you shop there and you are overwhelmed with amazing purses that are really non-expensive. They're amazing, and people pull you over left and right, and yeah, you want a purse, you want a luggage, and you are really overwhelmed. What we want to do is to educate our customers into understanding that if a product is well made, if it's authentic, if it's real, made in Italy, it cannot be that cheap. It simply can't. So you have to look for details. You have to look for the story behind it. If you go to that market and ask 99 out of 100 person who made this, they cannot answer you because they don't know. They just made them somewhere around the globe and they're just selling them in Florence. So what we want to do is share with our customer the fact that a real Italian product has a story behind it. There's a business behind it. There's a tradition. There's a family that keep on doing what have been done for maybe a century or something. So you have to look for the story. You have to look for the detail. You have to look for the value behind it. And this is something that we want to share both on the website and on the blog. The blog is the main platform from where we do that. Right now you can read a few interviews that we made to the artisans, and we are constantly publishing things that can help our customers understand that that's true people, that is real life people, that those items are made with a specific technique that only someone that is part of a specific environment can do. So it's all about spreading the word and creating the right environment for them to understand it. Thank you.
Just two quick comments. One, I like your site. It's a good experience, and so nice work on the design. Secondly, too, you probably already know about it, but there's a really good chapter, the Fashion Group International here in Dallas. So if you haven't plugged into them, it's basically a bunch of people like you and others in the basically professional people in the fashion industry, and they help each other out. So it might be worth checking out here.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Hi, I wanted to see if you could talk a little bit more about how you manage your supply chain. And you mentioned that you have a warehouse, so it sounds like you're purchasing product from the artisans and holding inventory and then selling it. I just wondered if you could talk a little bit about that and how you manage some of the difficulties that come along with that.
Sure, thank you. I live in Italy, so I'm traveling back and forth. So I'm the person that meets with the artisans, and right now I started from the artisans that I already knew because I could trust them, and I could just I knew that they were what I was looking for. So I approached them and we went over their collections and we selected the items that we were going to ship over here with the help of a team that we have in the US. So it's designers, it's creatives, and the marketing people, and we make a little bit of marketing research, and then we can decide whether or not a product is right for us. From that moment, the artisan is free. We just buy the products and we take care of everything. We take care of picking up of the product, customs, both out of Italy and in the US. We take care of custom duties. We take care of marketing. We take care of photo shoot. We take the product and we put it into the Italian process machine. So the Italian side is over the moment that we find the perfect product. Then the fun part starts, and we receive the products here in the US. We have an office space and a warehouse where we storage all the things that we are presenting on the website. We have a team that is made by marketing firms, web development firms, office manager, different kind of contractors that are working with us to create the perfect Italisan experience, which means that we have to have the right pictures, the right social media for each and every product, and we have a strategy for each product. So this is the supply chain. We buy, we ship, we manage, and then we promote. Main difficulty right now is for sure the shipments, because we started up with a small quantity and a bigger variety, because we wanted to create something that was already appealing for the customers. So we had to ship small things a lot of times, and that was super expensive, and it was long, and it was exhausting, and we had some trouble with customs, and every time that you enter in a different port, you have a different kind of regulation. And right now, I have luggage that is hostage in Houston, and they don't want to release it because they have a different approach to that. So that's the main difficulty right now. Other than that, it's just finding your voice and trying to understand what the customer wants to know about the product. So this is what we are working right now. Thank you.
So hi, this is Prashant here. So this is all good, and I'm very happy. And while we are all making notes and website address and all, I've just asked a couple of questions I'm curious about. First is, what is your vision? So how do you want to, where you want to take business from right now, where it is, where you want to take it. The second thing is that while we are in Meetup, there are a lot of talent here. We have strategies, financial people, techies, people who can guide you on marketing and all. So when you are presenting this, what help you seek? What are your challenges right now? This is not like, when I'm looking at this is extremely good. Like I'm looking at a video and product pitch, this is all right. But when live people are around us, we are also like to understand what are your challenges and what you help you seek from talented crowd.
About the people that are involved, and the vision that we have for them, and the vision that we have for the development of all of this. We started with something that was ready to scale. We started with something, we made the first investment. They were so big and so challenging, because we wanted to create, from the first moment, something that we could scale all across the country, and possibly in different countries, or replicate this model in different countries. So it's not just about the market that we want to approach, but also the possibility for other countries to have their own Italisan, like maybe a Spanisan one day. So something that could help us to create a model for ethical standards kind of shopping. So we tried to create something that was completely custom made for the US market, in terms of supply chain, in terms of shipments, people that we work with. But we are already working to create something maybe in the next 5 years that could be replicated easily whenever we want. So it's a model. It's not just about the products. It's just an approach to shopping, and it's about a vision of an ethical standard that could go back in style, because right now we are used to mass-produced things, and we want to bring back that.
I'm going to cut you off right there. Sorry. One last question. What can this community do for you?
Right now, we have two needs. First is spreading the word, following us, subscribe to the newsletter, try to understand more about Italisan, and be sure that you spread the word with the people that you think could be interested in. Second, we need an angel, we need a help, we need a bridge, we need something that could support us into going to the next stage, which means an investment that could help us to reach the next stage of development. Right now the company is completely self-funded, and we want to do the next step. We want to go big.
All right, thank you, Vera. Go get a round of
Thank you.
applause for
Thank you
Vera.
so much.
So a couple of announcements. Our coffee is here because of House of Genius, so check them out. Also, check out the treats that Kurtu here is making. They're fantastic. Okay? Also, one of our corporate sponsors is SoftTech. If you're interested in becoming a corporate sponsor yourself, go ahead and just contact me, Lindsay, or Matt in the back there. We're all volunteer coordinators and we'd be happy to talk to you about it. Also, 1 Million Cups has an app. It is the best way to find out what's going to be coming over the next week. It's also the best way to see the holiday schedule. Because clearly over the next month, there's some days we're here, some days we aren't. Download the app. It's also a really good way to get feedback about the presentation. Also get in touch with some of these presenters here today. Okay? So next we're going to present to you Ben, who is with Help Bond Me, a really interesting site. So give a round of applause to Ben, please.
How's everyone? Great, great, great. As I said, my name is Ben. I'm the founder of Help On Me. At the core, it's a crowdfunding platform for pretrial detainees. So Crowdfund the Bail is our tagline. It's a very simple concept, but we are so much more than that. In our society today, as we, just about everyone sitting in this room, part of society that are leaders. We're early adopters in technology, probably within the top, X percentile in terms of earning, but there's a downside. Wealth is a relative term, so as we get richer, some people get poorer, and they're not able to maintain on a day-to-day basis. So as society, we need to get that in check sometimes. It doesn't take very much. You can walk right out here on West Side, West End, and you can see people struggling on a day-to-day basis. And it does have its effects. So we're going to talk about that today. This solution focuses on that particular segment. So it's not Angry Birds or anything like that, Pokemon Go, but it's a real problem that has a real need and does affect everyone in society. So let me introduce you to Ashley. Ashley is a successful marketing person at a local PR firm. She just closed the biggest deal of her career. She's out having drinks with her friends and the boss. Everything's going great. Cheers, another round, another round. Ashley's great. It's the biggest deal of her career. But on the way home, she gets pulled over and arrested for a DWI. She can't call the boss because that's her boss. She can't call her friends. They took her cell phone. She doesn't remember anyone's telephone number. Ashley's got money in the bank, but her ATM withdrawal limit's only a third of what she needs to raise bail. She's gonna be there for a while. Over 13 million people get arrested in this country every year. We are the #1 country in the world in terms of incarceration rate. We hold 5% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's prison population. 2.3 million in prison, 750,000 in local county jails. Today we'll talk about that 750,000 in jail. You can't get to prison without first going to jail. Okay, so for those of you who don't know how it works, just pause here for a second and we'll talk about bail. When a person gets arrested, let's just say it's a DWI, the judge will determine from what's called, it's a ledger, it looks like an Excel spreadsheet. If it's a DWI first offense, we'll have a little number there that says, okay, your bail's gonna be set at $1,500. You come back in next week for the same thing, now it's gonna be $3,000. Or if you did something last year, it's gonna be even higher. So this is a fixed schedule. The judge has the ability to go up or down depending on the attitude of the defendant. So these numbers keep getting higher and higher and higher. And working class people making $10 an hour who just got a DWI, they can't afford it. Not by themselves. It takes a group of people, it takes a village normally to pull a person out of that situation. So 60% of these people right now in this jail, right across the street, are what we call pretrial detainees. These are people who are considered legally still innocent under the law. They have not yet been tried. It has not been determined if they are guilty or not. but they have to stay in jail because they don't have the money to get themselves out. It's not uncommon that people spend 4 months in jail for a lack of $500. Average wait time across the country is 95 days. And as I stated before, there's a direct correlation between the amount of time they spend pre-trial and their conviction rate. Oftentimes what will happen is that a person stays in jail for 3 months, they're desperate, they want to get out, the DA comes in and says, hey, I know you didn't do it, but if you plead guilty, you can go home today. Just do the probation. And they'll take that deal just to go home. But what they end up with is a conviction, and at that point, they can't work, and then you see them on your way to work asking for change. It all adds up to an overcrowded jail all across the country with increased operating costs paid for with your tax dollars. Dallas County Jail holds 5,500 people on average. Operating budget, $11 million a month. Where's that cost? It's not for jumpsuits. 1 minute? Serious. Okay, that means. So Help Bomb is a crowdfunding platform for pretrial detainees. At the very beginning is Safety Circle. Safety Circle is an under detention notification system. If a person is detained, they press the button on the app. We send friends, family, and followers, let them know that person's been detained, and they have a GPS location on the map. Next step, once they get arrested, we've got a kiosk. Everyone knows if you get arrested, you get one phone call, right? Now we're gonna make that one kiosk interaction. So they can authenticate with their social media platform. They can send out an SMS blast, email blast, social media campaign to let hundreds of people know, hey, I've been arrested, I need $1,500. When those people get that notification, it'll be a private notification as well. Individually, they'll be able to go to the website, they'll see the campaign, and at that point they can pledge money to help that person get out of jail. So we continue to collect pledges until we get the amount that's needed. Once we have the total amount, we'll send out another notification. All right, everybody get your money.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Any questions, feedback? Let's start right here and I'll circle my way around. Sure.
Okay, I have 2 questions. The first one is what information gets sent with the notification?
It just says that it'll have a first name. Let's say it's Ashley. It'll say Ashley has been arrested. And then it'll have a link that takes you to Ashley's campaign. If you are contacted on Facebook, you would need to authenticate with Facebook in order to see Ashley's profile. If you are contacted via SMS, you have to authenticate using digits. It's a 2-factor authentication. Right. This makes sure that the person who received the message, the intended recipient, is the only person that can view the contents of it.
And then I had one more question.
Yeah, sure.
It's a separate app, or have you guys thought about integrating it into apps that people already have? Instead of waiting, like, oh, maybe I might get arrested, let me have this app.
It will be a separate app. Our long-term goal is to go full native on everything. Right now, the platform is responsive. It is an MVP. So that's done just to keep costs down and prove out the concept. But it will be full native on Android and iOS. Also, the tablet, the kiosk, is full native.
So I also have a 2-part question. One is, I don't know how many people, at least in this audience, think that they're going to get arrested soon. So what's the incentive for people to sign up for the app? That's part 1. And part 2 is, if I'm interested as someone who cares about the needs of our community, then I guess I'm wondering, in your pitch, it sounded like the statistics on who's actually getting arrested here say some important things about racial and socioeconomic inequities in the city. And I didn't really hear that. So I'm wondering who your target audience is with this app.
You're absolutely right. I did not speak to the demographics. The stats prove high and low. African American, Latino, indigent, certainly. Recidivism is involved, so on and so forth. So you can take a particular demographic. When I'm talking to investors, for example, this is something foreign for them. They certainly don't understand it. And hey, you know, it might take just one phone call for them to get out of their situation. But we do have another customer archetype, which is a college student. who gets arrested for drinking, and that is the number one reason why they, between 18 to 21, is public drug use on a college campus, or also possession of marijuana less than 2 ounces. So in that case, they can get out of jail using their fraternities and sororities instead of having to call mom and dad. So it's like Snapchat for bail bonds. But but yes, primarily this does affect nationwide African Americans and Latinos. And let's put it out there, you know, with our president-elect Donald Trump, he's already pledged that he is going to deport lots of illegal immigrants. And how can you do that? First, you've got to arrest them. So he's pledged to implement what's called stop and frisk and also knock and talk. Whole goal is, let's find these illegal immigrants, let's get them out of here. But first, they've got to be arrested and they've got to have bail, period. So we're going to have more arrests in 2017 than we've ever had. We're hovering around 12, 13 million. That's going to, I don't know, could be 14 million this year. The companies that are behind our new president are companies like Secure Us, companies like the National Bail Bond Industry. These guys are tough on crime. They're all about the arrest. They're all about private prisons. This machine's not going to stop in the next 4 to 8 years. Yes.
Oh, right over here. Yep. What? Yep. Last time I spoke with you, I think that you mentioned that one of the major jails around here had approved you to put your kiosk in their jail. Have you gotten in there yet?
Not yet. Dallas County Jail, yes. So we have been working very closely with them to get our kiosk installed. We've gone after that jail. We have a representative on the inside. So last time we spoke, I was right on the edge of getting that done. We needed additional capital. So I've been working on getting that, and I'm happy to announce that this month we will have the money.
Right.
All right, thank you. Our kiosks are relatively inexpensive, but we needed to be able to purchase additional kiosks and also 24-hour tech support, just in case something goes down. And once we have this in Dallas, and I didn't get a chance to go through the other slides, maybe I'll have an opportunity now to show you our revenue model, how it all works. But we need to get all of those things in place. Yes.
Right here. 2 questions. First part, what's your corporate structure, profit, nonprofit? Second question is, could you give me a high-level overview of the revenue model?
Sure thing. So we are for-profit, but we are not statutory. A lot of companies in this space are statutory. Think about it, you got a person in jail, their number one goal is to get freedom. And freedom is expensive. You can charge them whatever in that case. But we're not that. We charge 6% to the consumer. If you look at the GoFundMe page, they charge 5%. So for that one additional percent, you're going to get the kiosk on the inside of the jail, you're going to get the relationship with the bail bondsman, and you're going to get the ability to get bonded out as quickly as possible. So all of the software and all of the logistics behind it for that additional 1%. So as an example, the median bail in the United States of America is $1,000. So on our platform, that person would need to raise $1,163, and we would clear a $115 margin. So that $1,000 goes to the bail bondsman, and then we would have $115. Okay, so scaling that out, just for Dallas County alone, again, 5,500 people in custody, they arrest 90,000 people every year. So we process 14,000 arrests, assuming a 16% conversion rate, and clear a $1.7 million margin. That's
Ben,
one.
we got time for more questions. Let's start with that.
Hi, Ben.
Hey.
Thanks for your presentation. My name is Jessica.
Hey, Jessica.
So it seems like for your app to work, it depends on the social connectedness of everyone who's using it. The notification goes to friends and family. I wonder if there's a mechanism for people who aren't socially connected. I'm thinking of like a pay it forward, like someone who gets their bond met can contribute to people who aren't connected, or something like that, where it's crowdsourcing but not necessarily for friends and family.
That would be totally awesome for Dallas. It already exists in other major cities. So New York has what's called a bail fund. It's a really clever concept. I like it. Philanthropists have gotten together. What they've done is put their money into a fund, and they choose people who, let's just say, first-time offender, they need $500. So then they'll put $500 on the books with the county. That person gets out, they get counseling, they make sure that person goes back to court, and then they get their $500 back. So they just continue to reinvest their money in the system. They don't lose it because it's put on with the county and not a bail bondsman. Now, Dallas does not have a bail fund, but that's a component that we could add later on, right? For now, we need to prove out this concept. The thing that we don't know today is that adoption rate. The 16% is just, it's an early adopter rate. We're making an assumption here. I personally think that number is going to be higher because at the end of the day, we are selling freedom, and everybody in that jail wants the same thing. So I think that number will be higher. That remains to be seen.
2 questions. So the first is, where is your technology now? Because you were talking about putting it into a kiosk. So is it the whole system built?
Yes, the kiosk is complete. This is an iPad-based solution done in Swift. I built it personally. The hardware was procured from a manufacturer in Chicago. So it's been approved by Dallas County Jail, 16-gauge cold roll steel. We also have another version that has a 15-inch monitor, costs a bit more. It's going to be like $1,600 just for the hardware. That one will have a Raspberry Pi system in the back.
And the app, that's complete too?
Native app is not. So right now we're HTML5, fully responsive. The whole thing's done on open source.
And you just said that your 16% early adopter rate was something that you guesstimated?
Yes, that is
So
correct.
I was curious, what have you done to validate that this solution will be accepted by the market? Because I would wonder if someone who does not have the money for their own bail, if their social network has the money to support them out. Like, is that happening already?
We have done hundreds of customer interviews. You should hear them. I was very excited about this because I actually went down just here in West End and interviewed people randomly. I actually went into the jails. I interviewed people as they were getting released from detainment. Now I had this conversation with them. How was your experience? What were your pain points? If I could do this for you, how much would you pay for it? Is it important to you? Would you tell your friends? And everyone's like, hey, this is something I needed yesterday. If you do it right now, that's like Uber for bail bonds. I need that right now. Yeah, I'm going to tell everybody. So I was very excited to hear that because my expectation was that I would have, 50-50, 70-30. But the responses were very positive. 90% of people were saying, hey, this is a must-have product. Bail bondsmen love it because we're sending them customers that they did not have access to before. Because people didn't have money. So they want it because it's going to increase their revenues. The jail wants it because it's going to increase jail churn. So when people get arrested, let's just say I arrest 275 people a day, if they all sit in jail, I can't arrest anymore. The police department actually has to tell police officers, don't arrest people if you see them doing drunk driving down, right? Because we can't house them. Yes, it happens, right? So as the jail becomes overcrowded, now you have to tell your police officers to ease off. Don't arrest so many people. So it's important to be able to get people cycle through. It's like going to the DMV. You've been there before. It takes forever. It's highly inefficient. So it's the same thing. It's just a DMV with bars.
Back here, just in terms of the overall process, I'm trying to understand and as a user, so if I, when would I set up my network, I guess? So is this something, like to your point, do I have to think of this ahead of time? Or will the kiosk allow me to quickly type in a few phone numbers and send an SMS, et cetera? Or, what point would I kind of access the system? And you mentioned them taking away my phone. So I'm just trying to kind of walk through that quick process.
Sure, both answers are correct. If you do not have the Safety Circle app, if you didn't know anything about help bombing, if the kiosk is on the inside of the jail, you can launch your campaign from there. You authenticate with your social media. You can download your telephone contacts. They took your phone, so you just authenticate with Google, pull down your phone book, and send out SMS blasts. You can do all that. If you're proactive, or if you're concerned about your friends and family, you can set up what's called a safety circle. So, for example, I have a daughter, 16 years old. If she's ever detained, I want to know about it right away. Doesn't matter. If she's pulled over, I want to know where she is and when it happened. And I want immediate alert. So this system will do that. She takes the app, hits the button, I've been detained, we'll plot it on the map. And if she doesn't get back to me within a certain period of time, then I will assume that she's been arrested and I can act right away.
That's a good angle. That's a good angle to get parents of like teenagers or of that demographic to get the parents to get their children to put the app in for when they do get arrested.
Okay.
That's a great angle.
Thank you.
I'm embarrassed to admit this, but this has happened to me. The county showed up and arrested me like in the middle of the night at my apartment and took me to the county jail. You know, because they arrested me in the middle of the night, I didn't have my phone. I had the money. The money wasn't an issue, but there was like a limit of like $100. And the craziest part is it was just a mistake on the county's part. And as soon as I saw a judge, they let me go, but that took a day. I mean, because it was like in the middle of the night, so it was the next day before I saw the judge. And I don't know anyone's phone number. Everything's in my phone. It was crazy. It was just absolutely crazy. So I totally get this. But I think the hardest thing you're going to have is one, I don't think anyone's going to think ahead and have an app on their phone or anything. I think the hardest thing is how do they get in touch with you when they're in that situation.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Have you considered, so I'm not sure about your marketing campaigns, but like a college tour?
Not yet. It's a great idea, though.
Because I feel like they would enjoy this app.
They could.
Kind of use for it.
Okay.
Ben, we have time for one more question.
Could you repeat that? We didn't hear.
The college tour, she suggested that we do a college tour for that demographic, and they could be early adopters. Help spread the word, right? Really, really good. I would say at this point, what I was really concerned about is determining what this adoption rate is going to be. Because if I go with the college tour, it could spread nationwide right away, and I'm not prepared for that because I need the relationships in every city with every bail bond. So I want to get the adoption rate first, have my metrics, and then at that point, I can easily go to Houston, Chicago, you name it. In Chicago, by the way, 90% pre-trial. It's amazing.
I thought that when you post bond and then you show up, you get the money back. Is that not true?
If you post it with the county, you get the money back. So the bail bondsman provides a service. Let's just say I get arrested. The judge will tell me, your bail is set at $10,000. If I have $10,000 cash, I can place that on the books with the county, and when I return for trial, I'll get my $10,000 back. If I don't have $10,000, I can pay a bail bondsman $1,000 to put up $10,000 on my behalf.
So how could you do this so that these people could pay immediately and then get the money back, and then you could put it back into circulation?
Yes, that is something that has come up because the jail wants to have the money on books, the county wants that. In order to do that, I need to establish a relationship with them. Also payment processing for them. They have limited ways to pay. And also their fees are higher, which put pressure on me because I'm only charging 6%. That's something that we could do in the future. Especially for states. We have states in the north that do not have paper bail. They have abolished bail bonds. So you can only post bail with the county. So it's different in a few states. We've got a handful of states, 4 or 5, that are experimenting with this new way of doing bail bond. But Texas, yeah, we're very much big on bail bond.
So Ben, can you tell me, what can this community do for you?
I would love to have conversations with either the judge, county commissioner, here in the area. Like for example, I'm dealing with Dallas. I would love to have an introduction to someone in Rockwall, Irving, other areas, and start that conversation and tell them about what we're doing, explain the value, and get a pilot in those areas. Focus primarily on DFW right now. Once we get this adoption rate, then we can go to Houston. Houston's got a big problem, Harris County. They're even being sued by the ACLU.
All right, thank you, Ben. Can we get a round of applause? So all of our speakers will be up here willing to answer your questions after the presentation. One last announcement. Like I said, download the app. Download the app is the best way to find out what's going to be happening in the next week. And it's also a good opportunity to get feedback about the session today. And lastly, we're also looking for volunteer coordinators like Matt and Lindsay and myself. So if you're interested in coordinating these events, come see one of us after. Got a question in the back.
Can I make an announcement?
Sure, come on up.
Okay, so this Saturday...
Come on up.
Thanks. So I'm Richard Brevik with Expose UX. It's a web show where startups come on, they pitch their product, and they get feedback from user experience experts. We're filming this Saturday, and we have one spot available. So if you want feedback from people who are very valuable, that every single day they figure out how to make your product better, come on the show. Speak to me. Thank you.
How much does it cost?
Right now it's free, but in the future we'll be charging $200 to $500.
Sounds good. Any other announcements?
Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin with Iron Yard. We're a coding bootcamp for those of you who don't know us. We just moved into a new space and we're going to do a housewarming party next week, so I would love to see all of you there. It's going to be from 5 to 7 at our new location. We're at 2030 Main Street on the 4th floor. So if you want to mark your calendars, that's next Wednesday night, 5 to 7 p.m. We'll have food and booze and a ping pong table and lots of fun stuff. So if you want to come and check out our space and learn a little bit more about what we do, or if you're looking for an event space to host some stuff, feel free to get in touch with us. Look forward to seeing you.
Booze. Any more announcements?
Hey, I'm David Faris. I like coffee, I like video games, and if that sounds cool to you, you should let me know, because there are 2 coffee clubs now, Plano and Frisco, that meet Thursday mornings and Friday mornings, talk about video games, hang out and drink coffee. And next week, I'm forgetting the date, so I have to remember, but next week we're going to Nerdvana in Frisco, and they just opened up a bar and restaurant side where you can play video games, drink, and eat food, and just hang out. So if you want to do that, let me know. Sounds cool. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Also, if you guys are interested in presenting, come visit one of the volunteer coordinators. Otherwise, we will see you next Wednesday.